Hello, good morning, students. Let us begin with another method of biasing the BZT, which is in continued with topic number 2, that is transistor biasing. In yesterday's lecture, we studied fixed method of biasing the BZT, and we concluded that as a being, fixed base current is provided, which is obtained by connecting resistance RB as a biasing resistance between base and that of VCC, and the magnitude of the stability factor becomes greater than 1, and that's why we concluded that the stability of that particular method of biasing the BZT seems to be unstable. To increase the stability of BZT further, another method of biasing is used, and that is known as emitter biasing or self biasing. It is called as emitter biasing because we have included the resistance RE in the emitter resistance. That itself provides necessary biasing voltage. VEE, that is IE into RE, to the BZT, so that the stability can be improved by selecting the proper value of RE and the transistor used for that particular operation is made stable. Such a method we can call it is the self-biasing method, or it is also called as emitter biasing method. To proceed with, we can say, as usual, in case of fixed biasing method, it consists of a transistor Q, which is used again in common emitter configuration. Input is applied between base and that of emitter, whereas output is taken across collector and that of ground. The fixed biasing voltage is obtained by connecting resistance RB between VCC and that of the base, that allows base current IB to pass through the base of the transistor Q. The resistance RC equal to RL is going to act as a load resistance, which is connected between collector and that of VCC. The capacitors C1 and C2 are going to act as coupling capacitor that allows AC to pass at the output through it. And also these are used to couple one or more stages with each other. In addition to that, emitter resistance RE is connected to allow emitter current IE to pass through it and to develop IE-RE as a voltage, which is essential to provide self-biasing as a feedback voltage, self-biasing voltage to the BZT to adjust the operating point wherever region we require. Now let us going to derive now the relation between IB and IC, and also we are going to calculate what is the necessary value of RE so that it is going to make the operation of BZT stable in terms of by stabilizing the operating point in a required region. So let us proceed. The self-biasing circuit has the BZT with RB as a base biased resistance and RE as a emitter resistance to provide self bias and RC as a load resistance along with BCC as a power supply. If RC or RL is very small, as we are achieving in the transformer coupled output load, the stability factor is not reduced very much. And as a being stability factor is not reduced very much, the stability decreases or stability as S is not reduced means it is a more, hence the stability will less. Therefore, circuit is arranged to increase the IC. The forward bias emitter base junction is reduced automatically and it will be reduced to control rising collector current IC. When the rising IC will be controlled, naturally the shift of operating point Q will be stabilized. And this will be achieved by connecting emitter resistance RE in a fixed bias circuit. Means we are using same fixed bias circuit by connecting emitter resistance RE. So that provides the self biasing to the result. To perform the analysis, we simplified that particular biased circuit. That is, we have removed here input signal to be amplified and just we have placed DC voltage sources. This circuit is same as that of the previous circuit because here only difference is that here we have used two supplies, one is VCC and second one is VBB, just for the purpose of our analysis. Otherwise this circuit is same. It includes the resistance RC, RB, VBB has the same magnitude as that of the VCC, RE is the emitter resistance, RE, small re is the internal emitter resistance which is represented here for our understanding. Due to connecting VBB, IB will be base current that flows, it will develop the base emitter voltage VBE. We can analyze this particular circuit. From this particular circuit diagram, we can write it VBB equal to IBRB minus VBE minus IRE. This loop we are considering and we are applying the Kirchhoff's voltage law to this particular loop. That's why VBB equal to IBRB plus VBE plus IRE, and that's equal to 0. But in common emitter configuration, we can write it I is equal to beta IB. Therefore, IB equal to IA upon beta. By substituting this value in this equation, we can get VBB equal to minus VBB minus IA upon beta RB minus VBE minus IRE minus IERE, that's equal to 0. One can write a VBB minus VBE equal to I into RB upon beta plus IERE small re plus IA into RE. By taking IA common from this particular equation and rearranging terms, we can get it I is equal to VBB minus VBE upon RB upon beta plus REE plus RE. Thus, we can get the value of this resistance is equal to VBB minus VBE upon I. So, whereas RB we can calculate as RB equal to beta into VBB minus VBE upon IE minus REE plus RE. So by this particular way, one can calculate the value of RB. If you connect that particular value of RB, definitely we can choose the respective value of RE. So this is how you can perform the analysis. But how to decide the value of RE? And that value of RE can be decided just by determining the stability factor. Further, from the same circuit, by applying the Kirchhoff's voltage law, by considering the same equation, we can get VBB equal to IBRB plus VBE plus VEE. That's equal to IBRB plus VBE plus IRE, because VEE is equal to IRE, but IE is equal to IB plus IC. We are well aware. Put that value of IE in this equation so as to get IBRB plus VBE plus IB plus IC into RE. Just use the distributive law so that we can get IBRB plus VBE plus IBRE plus IC into RE. From these two terms, take IB common so as to get IB into bracket RB plus RE plus VBE plus IC into RE. Friends, we are determining now relation between IB and IC just to determine the magnitude of stability factor, and that's why we obtain IB into RB plus RE equal to VBB minus VBE minus ICRE. Therefore, IB is equal to VBB minus VBE upon RB plus RE minus ICRE upon RB plus RE. But as a being VBB equal to VCC, and that is equal to constant, and VBE is very less than VBB, so that's why we can write for constant value of VBB which is equal to VCC, increase in IC will reduces IB. Differentiating this particular equation, we can get delta IB upon delta IC, and that's equal to VBB, VBE are constant, that's why this factor is constant. So therefore differentiation of this particular constant quantity, it is a 0, minus differentiation of this quantity with respect to IC, it is RE upon RB plus RE. That is delta IB upon delta IC equal to minus RE upon RB plus RE. Put this value in the stability factor equation, that is given by 1 plus beta upon 1 minus beta into delta IB upon delta IC. Means we are replacing delta IB upon delta IC with minus RE upon RB plus RE. Hence this equation stability factor becomes S is equal to 1 plus beta upon 1 plus beta into RE upon RE plus RB. Take RE common from the denominator, 1 plus beta into RE upon RE into bracket 1 plus RB upon RE. So this RE will cancel, and we get stability factor as 1 plus beta upon 1 plus beta into 1 plus RB upon RE. To increase the stability of this particular circuitry, we have to obtain the value of stability factor less. To make value of stability factor less, this denominator should be more. To make this denominator should be more, 1 plus RB upon RE should be less. To make 1 plus RB upon RE less, RB upon RE should be less. To make RB upon RE should be less, RE should be more and RB should be less. If suppose you adjust the value of RB less and RE large, then the value of S becomes equal to less than or equal to 1. And when the value of S becomes less than or equal to 1, naturally it will provide the stability to the transistor or stability of Q point of that particular transistor which is working in that particular respective region. So this is how we can say one can obtain, one can make the stable the BZT and its operating point. Only the thing is that if we are adopting the self-biasing method, you have to choose the value of RE should be large and RB should be small. If you make this particular arrangement, naturally the circuit is going to provide better stability for the VZT. So dear friends, this is how one can improve the stability of operating point by adopting the self-biasing or emitter biasing method. Next time we will study the next type of biasing method. Today we will stop. Take care, stay safely in your home.